guys, what motherfucker? Hey guys, welcome to Cult Film and Review, the podcast where we discuss the films you love, but no one else gets, and we see if they still hold up. Tonight, it's the movie Disney doesn't want to talk about, so we will. Because we're talking about their 25th animated classic, The Black Cauldron. So let's start the show. Movies. Movies.
That's how our podcast one starts. That's the
movies.
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 It's like a fucking Calvin Klein commercial. Passion. Obsession.
Mystery.
Movies. Hey guys, thanks for joining the cult. I really appreciate it. So do the other guys, but mostly me. I'm your host, Cody Everett.
Cody Army showing up.
One man army.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see everybody else here is a card
what
carrier.
up, Army of One?
I see everybody else here is a card carrying Chris Army fan.
I'm a huge Chris Army fan.
Yeah.
Card carrying member.
I've been Chris Army actually for 31 years.
30. That's
Wow.
deep. That's deep to be in the
Bro,
Chris
I'm
Army.
like a general in the Chris Army.
Yeah. When you to join the Chris Army, instead of painting your face, you just waft your hair up and wear tight pants.
That's what you do. Waft it up. Waft it.
Sure, I remember the moments I put on the first pair of tight pants. I felt like I was part of a family.
Yeah.
That's really what it means.
You know, you had to wear compression pants the other week. I just wear them every day of the
Yeah,
week.
I had to wear them because my ankles got swollen because I'm a fat
We had
person.
to get jumped into the Chris Army.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
He jumped us in with John Waters films.
Yeah, we had to watch like every John Waters film.
It was actually
back.
just Pink Flamingos for 24 hours.
That was
straight. It's like
that
a
was
Clockwork
trip.
Orange experiment.
But every time
Just
he would
Pink
pretend
Flamingos.
like he was putting on a different movie, and then he would call it by a different name, and then when we tried to correct him, he would say, "No!"
it was a rough 48 hours.
It was a weird time, man. But you know what? We're better now for it.
Do us a favor, guys. Head over to iTunes. Leave us a review. We will give you a shout out at the end of the show when you're done with that. Head over to cultfilmandreview.com. Make sure you put in your request for films for us to review and pick up your t-shirt while you're there. Buffalo 66, May 10th, Phoenix Film Bar. They can get tickets where, Chris Army?
The filmbarphx.com.
That is correct. As always, I am joined by Kyle Smith,
Hey, how's it going?
Chris Wilbrecht,
Hey, what's up?
and Michael Saluccio.
Hi, everybody.
Tonight we're talking about The Black Cauldron. It was directed by Ted Berman. Wow. Ted Berman and Richard Rich. I don't know why I'm struggling
Richard Rich.
on these names.
Dick Richard.
Dick Rich.
Dick Rich.
It was written by Lloyd Alexander. Came out in 1985. Let me say a full word there. Had a budget of $44 million. I'm on my own case tonight. I'm on my own case. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Had a budget of $44 million. Made $21.3 million in the box office. Has a rating of PG and currently sits at
Wait a minute.
PG.
Are those numbers correct? This movie cost $44 million.
I believe it.
Dude, it's animation, bro.
I believe it.
And it was a bomb. I
Get
mean,
out of here with that.
Has a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes meter. Rotten.
Fuck,
Dude,
bro.
this is rough.
Man, put that
Hey, guys.
mouth away, am I right?
I just want to say thanks for toughing through this one with me and really hanging in there if you're still listening. I really appreciate that. I've been struggling through the Black Cauldron intro, and you guys are hanging in there, and I just thank you.
Yo, it's funny.
Thank
No
you.
one will know this because I'll just do a super cut of this, and it'll be like, "Hey guys, welcome to Cult Film and Review. Tonight we're talking about Black Cauldron,
That sound like a fucking ransom video.
Rotten Tomatoes."
Send your child to us.
just-
$5,000.
The M and tomatoes is just this long me. Rotten to me.
Turs.
This was Mike's pick.
Do you want to just try again, Ben? Do you want to just see if we can do like
I
a
think
thing?
it's funny.
Of course you do.
This was Mike's pick. We're just rolling with it. It's a fun night. Can we have a good night?
Wild night.
Wild night. This was Mike's pick.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, why'd you pick the Black Cauldron?
Because I just got back from Disneyland and I'm still on that like Disney high. So I was like, oh man, let's do another like dark Disney film.
Mm-hmm.
And it was between this and Watcher in the Woods. This one I had seen, but I had not seen Watcher in the Woods, and you guys all voted. We did our own little vote, our own little fan pick.
Yeah.
And you guys went with Black Cauldron, so I feel like you guys are 50% like in on this.
That's really cool because, like, when I went to Universal Studios, same thing happened, but I just watched The Mummy Returns.
Yeah.
like, a lot.
Just like a lot of Brendan
We
Fraser.
have not done a mummy movie yet, though.
I was like super into it, man.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
Thanks.
Come on now. Come on.
You can do it.
Chip, pony.
So, when was the first time, Kyle, that you had seen or heard of the Black Cauldron?
The first time I'd seen it was this watching. I had heard of it before because I think this is included with the other, the era of like 11 scary or adult Disney films. I think this one's roped in with that. And I had never seen it, and I've seen most of the other ones on the list. So I've been wanting to watch this movie, so I was really happy that Mike picked it.
So I've been wanting to see this one too because I've never seen it either, and I was happy that Mike picked it too because for some reason I've always seen the artwork for this in the video store and stuff like that, but never picked it up.
Yeah.
Never picked it up, and
Yeah.
so
And what's crazy is there's like things like there's images, like especially towards the end when he's fighting the Horned King, like those images are the ones that are always used when you're talking about like, scary Disney films. But like, I don't know. We'll get into it. But after watching the movie, I was like, does it need to be on that list?
like the weird thing is like it's one of those Disney movies too, and we'll get to Chris here in due time.
And fuck Chris.
We'll get to,
Fuck Chris Army.
We'll get to Chris. We'll get to Chris here in due time. Chris, just wait patiently. We're gonna get to you.
He's like staged. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He's poised.
Just a lot of this.
This is not a Disney film that I can ever think of where people are like, yeah, dude, Black Cauldron. Like no one ever talked. You know what I mean? Like I've talked to people about Hercules and like other Disney movies.
See, but there are other films on this list.
Yeah,
like,
but this is not.
Like no one talks about the Emperor's New Groove anymore.
I would
yeah,
talk
That was a
about that.
fucking
People-
Disney film, and I watched it in theaters. I loved it.
People
I love
talk about
That's
it.
a great movie.
No, they don't, man.
Yes, they do.
don't.
I do.
Go to Disneyland.
I'm a
you,
people.
you won't see anybody selling a like Emperor's New Groove doll. Like that's like one of those.
That's a shame.
It's
It's
true.
a goddamn
Yeah.
shame.
Crunk is amazing.
I love that movie.
So do I. Same thing. Crunk. Chris,
I almost took over.
when was the first time that you had seen or heard of the Black Cauldron?
I remember like seeing the box on the shelves at the video store when we worked there. But
Thanks, Chris.
That's ridiculous.
Such a dick
So
move.
ridiculous.
Cool. Pops with Mike. It's just like a super rapid show. Everybody gets a long talk.
yeah,
And Chris, we're running out of time.
Sorry,
He gets
Chris.
fucking hooked off stage.
at the time I had no idea that it was part of the Dark Disney catalog. And as we've done the show, we've kind of opened that door to exploring those Dark Disney films.
Yeah.
I voted for this one because I had seen Watcher in the Woods and I just wanted to see another one in this library. So, but yeah, first time watching it and was definitely on the list. So
Yeah, and that's I kind of brought it up a little bit in my intro there, but it's true, man. Like I don't think I've ever heard like there's a couple of movies where just Disney does not.
Yeah,
They released
it's
this.
a-
They at least released this one, but they don't really talk about this one. The other
My-
ones they don't really release.
Cody, it is a collection of 10 films which have not gotten a Blu-ray release
Yeah.
from Disney.
Is this one of those 10 films?
Yeah, there's this one. We covered the other one, right? We did Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Mhm.
That's
Uh-huh.
one of them. Watcher in the Woods, another one. This one. I
Black
think
Hole.
the Race to Witch Mountains might be included in that, actually.
Black Hole. Yeah.
Black Hole is this one, and there's one other animated film, I
Like
think.
definitely Fuzz Bucket though. Nobody remembers Fuzz Bucket?
No.
No.
That shit was fucking.
Nope.
That was my jam.
Remember
It was
Flubber?
about a guy's
Remember Flubber,
imaginary friend coming to life, and it turns out to be like this weird like Yeti creature. And he's like walking
Interesting.
around, everybody can see it. And he's like, "Arr." It's just like the dumbest cart. It wasn't a cartoon. It was actually like a live action.
oh,
But it looked like a little Chewie. It looked like Chewie's kid in the holiday special.
Okay.
It's just running around doing stuff. Anyways,
What are we
that's
talking
Fuzz
about?
Bucket.
That is Fuzzbucket.
Got a
Why
sequel.
don't we get to the plot of Black Cauldron with Plots with Mike?
The Black Cauldron. It takes place in like a high fantasy.
What's with the cauldrons?
I keep calling
Cauldron.
It's like an old
Like a
fucking
cue?
I can't
old
even say
Italian
it. It's
grandmother.
it's like
you got the
Black Cauldron.
The Black Cauldron.
It's like me saying wolf.
I can't. I don't know why I can't say cauldron.
Cauldron.
I
we
keep
do-
saying call.
He became 45 and like from the Bronx right there.
All right, I'm ready. Ready? The Black Cauldron.
There you go. That's more radio friendly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It stars this young kid, Taran. He lives with this old man for some reason, and he takes care of his pig. It's true. Was that his grandfather? No one knows.
His caretaker, something.
It was just some old guy.
Maybe he was like a ward.
I really wanted to know the backstory to that, but anyways, that's for a later event. Anyways, he's taking care of this pig, who this old man basically is like, look, man, this pig has special powers. And at this point, you wonder, like, does this kid think, like, he's crazy and that's why I'm sticking around?
Yeah.
Or anyways, there's a evil warlord who is looking for the Black Cauldron, which is this ancient artifact that housed a evil king, I believe it was.
Yeah, the king
Yep.
was turned into the cauldron.
He's
turned
trapped
into
in it. He was trapped in it, I think.
Or
Something like
anyways.
he's embedded into the steel.
somehow they
it's
use
an
this
evil
to
device.
take on this dark king who had lost in the past. It's like that old ancient prophecy thing. And anyway, so everyone's after this cauldron because it'll give them powers. And so is this dark king guy, or what's his name in this?
The Horn King.
The Horn King, correct. The Horn King is looking...
What's his name? The Horn King. That's correct. Oh.
Correct, Chris.
did-
I
you
was
didn't-
testing you.
You didn't know 2 minutes ago.
Anyways, so the Horn King is looking for this thing because he wants to gain this ultimate power. And it turns out he can't find it. So the only thing that can find it is this pig. So now it becomes this thing where it's kind of like Ringwraiths chasing this pig around, and this kid is forced to basically take care of the pig still.
Get it into safety.
Get it to safety so they don't get their hands on it and learn where the Black Cauldron is. And I can't say it.
It's like it's like every other Disney adventure.
No, it's not.
No, it really isn't.
Well, I mean, the characters are pretty
Well,
similar.
it has the
anyways.
same. It has the same kind of like
Yeah.
structure,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
like any other adventure film from the '80s.
That's how we should have
realistically.
just capped this all off. It's like every other Disney film.
I mean, if we
You've
just-
seen it. You've seen the film. You've seen one. You've seen them all.
Yeah, it's basically Wall-E.
We'll get into other stuff, but I just want to make one correction. One correction.
What did he say?
Cauldron.
No, he called Taran Talon, I believe.
And I think he called the Horn King. He said like the ring.
The Ringwraith.
The Ringwraith.
The Ray Ray?
The Ray Ray.
No, I was just trying to say it was like a Ringwraith situation.
Okay.
They're chasing them.
And then he
for
called
this
it at the
pig.
end a back cauldron.
A back cauldron.
Which,
That's what I
listen,
lost.
you don't want to mess with a back
No, so
cauldron.
the black cauldron's one thing, but the back
It's like an
cauldron,
infection.
yeah,
Like a
that'll send you to the hospital. That's Bill. You don't want that.
huge boil on your back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got a back cauldron.
Got a back cauldron. What?
Got to lance that open.
That's
Let's-
a scientific name. It's a medical name. Yeah.
Do this. Let's take a break from this train wreck of an intro, and when we come back, we will be better in talking about the black cauldron or back cauldron. We're not sure. And we are back talking about the black cauldron. We're super pumped.
Jesus, you blew out Chris's
You are.
fucking mic.
Pumped. Talking about Taran, not Talon. Talking about Taran.
Taran
Can I say
Wilbrecht.
though? Talon. Cooler name.
It's a way cooler name.
Yeah. Didn't
So
think about it.
I don't know. Here's what I got from the beginning because I feel like we got different things from the beginning of this movie, and I just want to talk about that
Okay.
from your description of it.
Okay.
So you said like you don't know who the guy is, and I don't necessarily know who this guy is either. But the end kind of gives me this thing, and I even got the feeling in the beginning. I feel like Taran is sent there for some sort of training, and I felt like it was to be a warrior because his first line is like, "What if I'm too old to miss the war?" It's something like that, and I felt like, oh,
Well,
he's there to train with
he's-
this guy,
yeah, he's
and this
clearly
guy
there.
is just Mr. Miyagi in him and having him take care of
No,
a pig.
no
He's
one's saying
clearly-
that guy's a warrior.
No. No one's saying that at all. He's clearly there though to be part of this adventure. Like that's why at the end he gives them good job.
Oh no, I know it's the end is like, oh, it was a setup. The whole I know, I understand that, but what I'm saying
You
is
think they tricked him into thinking he's going to be a warrior, but he's just
no,
going to be a pig
it's just
handler?
that thing is like he has that like he has that notion, so it makes me think of like he's just waiting for his training to start.
Oh.
But his training hasn't started yet, and this whole time he's like, I've just been taking care of this pig. The whole time where the old guy's like, oh yes, you've just been taking care of it, but really you're its protector.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they did the same thing in another movie where you thought sanding some 2x4s didn't come into play, and then
Yes.
Ralph Macchio whoops some ass.
I said he Mr. Miyagi-'d him. That's what I said.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing: Mr. Miyagi was a karate master.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this guy?
I think
But
this-
he knows
I-
the power of the pig. Because here's the
yes.
other thing.
I think he's a mystic or like
I thought a wizard.
I thought like a
wizard.
wizard.
but
same
this dude
thing.
wanted to be a warrior. Like, wouldn't he go to
Yes.
like under tutelage, like a page,
But
and
no.
become a knight
well,
and shit?
no,
like,
doesn't,
no, because
doesn't-
they knew
isn't-
better.
Yeah, but Merlin, like, it doesn't Merlin. He kind of coaches Arthur along the way and helps him
Yeah.
become a warrior, even though he's a magician of his
That's
own.
a different scenario.
But I
That's
feel like
like
that's kind of the same
yeah, but
story
if
they
had
pulled
given
from.
a background of like, one day this old man came to my door and called me the chosen one, and I'm just here taking care of a fucking pig. Like, that would make a lot of sense. But like, all we know is that there's a young boy living with an old man, and he's taking care of his pig. But like, why is he there? I was like, is he getting paid? At first, I thought it was his job, but it's clear that like this is all this kid has.
Yes.
Couldn't I have seen like a thing like my parents were killed in
Well, doesn't he say he wanted to go off to
1297?
Does he say something about having a brother?
Nope.
I thought he did.
There's like
No,
no
not at all.
backstory. Like all the backstory
Listen,
is
Mike.
about the world.
Mike, if more movies had a lot of if more movies explain shit, then we wouldn't be doing what we're doing here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is Disney. Okay, I expect more.
It's a weird era of Disney.
I just
all right?
I got the impression that he was there for some sort of training, and he may have thought it was for warrior, but I think the whole time that guy was like, no, this is more like magic. Like this is more like magic training.
Well, I mean, let's
think that's
be
funny.
honest.
But-
He
but
did
you're
train him
somehow-
to be a warrior. He
but-
ended up being a warrior.
no, he was only warrior because of that sword.
No, but the sword.
But he was the pig
had-
handler. He was the handler of the pig.
Yeah,
which
but
is very pristine.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the pig for the last 3/4 of the film. So clearly his job isn't to be the pig handler. His job is to be the warrior and help defeat the Horned King.
Right, I understand that, but like, how the hell did this like? Why didn't we have a backstory as to like how this old man?
Because it's magic.
I think it's just Disney, and they're like,
I love how
the kids
pissed you
won't
were at that
care.
answer.
The kids won't care about who this guy is. He's a
No.
grandfatherly,
This
wizardly
movie,
type
I feel
figure.
like this movie, I feel like is almost so intricate though. Like that's
well,
why.
one thing that should be known is there's like 12 minutes cut out of this movie.
Yes,
It
there
was
is.
the beginning.
I don't know, but there
No,
was definitely
there's more pig
story.
activity.
There was
Yeah.
more story to this. I mean, this is based on like a series of books.
Right.
So
But-
they tried to cram like the whole series
That's
into
okay,
one
that
movie.
makes a little bit more sense.
But I guess it's nothing like the books also because they changed the story so much.
Yeah,
from
they
what I've
did, and it was because they tried to incorporate elements from all the stories. So the
See, I
story
didn't
it
even know
just
this was
changed.
about a book.
Yeah, it's like it was a series, I guess. So
There you go.
but also like
Boom, boom.
this is when Eisner came in, and he got pissed when he saw the first cut and went in the editing room and started chopping shit up himself. So it's
so
kind
this
of
one's at the end of the Dark Disney because when Eisner came
Yeah.
in, that's when he fucking shifted all that crap to
Get to
TriStar or some shit.
fucking Dark Disney shit
Dude,
again.
no, because kids
I
were
thought we were
over
done
this.
with this.
from what I read, kids were running out of the
44
theater.
million on this.
Like kids were running
Yeah.
out of the theater.
it was a
because
lot
of
more
this.
gory. It was a lot
Whoa.
more
Oh, wait.
intense.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
So the cut I saw wasn't like the
Right.
director's cut.
No,
There is no
I don't
director's
think
cut.
that exists.
yeah.
There is
They
no,
don't want to show it.
No, he went and
The head
destroyed it.
of Disney pulled it out. No one's seeing it.
I as far
Okay,
as I know,
are you talking about like a screening?
I don't.
Yes,
they
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 screened
they
it.
screened it
And
and
screened it for kids, and kids like started running out. Is
Yes.
what you're saying? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was like during the premiere.
But
No.
it's not even that. Like I think Michael Eisner already he looked at it and said it wasn't commercial enough for families. It was too dark. It was too violent,
Oh,
and
man, I
like
wish I had seen that
was
version.
pissed because it was already, I'm guessing, so expensive. And I guess it's really taboo to get rid of shit when it comes to animation because it takes so long to do.
Yeah.
You know, so like for him to go in and take out that much of the film. It was like, whoa, like
that's
that's like
long
shitting
time.
on your animators who you don't even know that well because you just came into the picture, and there was like this big controversy about that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
The Black Cauldron.
so it's kind of a mishmash, and if you notice, there's just a lot of names involved, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of people had opinions about what it should or shouldn't be, and it was in a weird transition phase for Disney. So it got kind of like this I guess started in the 70s, the story, and then like by the 80s is when it finally got made because like there was all the controversy with like Don Bluth leaving, and new animators kept having to come in and pick this project back up, and then so it went through a very long time of like trying to get actually to the screen and get accomplished. Like you'll even notice that like the animation style in this film changes a lot. You
Yes,
know,
I know exactly when you're talking about.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
quite a few scenes where it's like it doesn't quite look the same. That character looks a little different. The coloring's a little different. The way they cut the film, they try to tell a different story in this movie, like than was originally planned. So it's a mishmash, I think.
So I can't stop laughing. It's like it's so clear that Chris has done his homework.
Yeah.
And no, everybody else is like, really? Huh?
We're just so
You want to read
entranced.
this one? Go ahead, buddy.
Dude, keep going. What
Yeah.
else?
No, I just I mean, I think
Encyclopedia
Yeah.
Chris
Yeah.
tonight.
And
No.
in 1986,
Walt.
when this movie went on
Walt,
video,
my next question, Walt, is
Walt Willenbrecht.
Well, I also know it was supposed to be like a contender and follow up kind of to Snow White, and that was the intention going into the story.
Huh.
But
She does look. That's who she looks like. She looks like Snow White a little bit.
I was like, well, there's a princess you never fucking hear about, huh?
yeah, well, definitely. And I'll tell you another thing that now that you think about it, like, there's one thing that bothers me about this is that, like, I feel like the one thing this film is missing is music. Like, if it had some music in it, it would have been better.
yeah, there's-
like, it's
Oh,
the
like
one
songs, you
Disney
mean.
thing.
There's like
true.
no music.
It's true, no songs.
There's no
really.
songs in this.
Toy Story isn't it? No, I'm just kidding. That's Pixar. But no, that's the thing is like
Fucking
this,
Randy Newman's fucking
Sorry,
track
I'm
and
just
vocals
glad
for
that you
this.
said
You
Snow
got
White
a
because
friend
You
in
got a
me.
cauldron in me.
Ooh,
But that's the thing that this movie.
Randy Newman.
It's weird because they even try to have one like in this movie that they kill off. But there's really no charm to this movie. It's real weird like that. It doesn't have that Disney that Disney charm that you're used to.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm glad you brought this up because I was thinking that when I was watching it because
Me too.
you know when I'm watching like animated movies or these adventure films, it's like, you know, they hit these certain like marks along the way, and each mark you're supposed to kind of feel a little bit more like strongly for these characters, and like it felt like they were just checking off. Like this just felt like, all right, and at the 15-minute mark we get the adventure starts, and it's just very cold. Like it just didn't feel like. It didn't feel like a normal animated movie that kind of hooks you with the characters and you find these characters lovable or likable or something. Like it just felt very like by the books almost.
I definitely like 100% agree with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there are moments when where I was just like, and insert cute creature. There will be the comedic
Yeah.
balance to all of this. Okay, there he is.
Yep.
Yeah, but they even do like.
Hold on, I just wanted to say, I remember you mentioning earlier on in the week, you said that this didn't feel like a Disney movie to you. So I went into
Yeah.
it kind of thinking about that, and I actually like disagree with that. I feel like it feels very much like Sleeping Beauty and Sword in the Stone. Like it has like that same kind of animation style as you see in there, but also they're trying some like new things. So I did get the Disney vibe on
So
this.
you said Don Bluth was attached to this at first?
I don't know if he was attached to it. I know Tim Burton worked on this too. Like he was an
Because I mean,
did some
I'll tell you
early
right now, when I watch this, that's the animator I get, and I like an envisionment of kind of a little bit like, it looks like
Don
they're
Bluth
trying to
was
like.
gone already from Disney by the time this actually
Yeah,
got made.
so I think
So
Tim Burton
Right,
did
right. But it does have that feeling of like a weird kind of like Dragon's Lair situation
well,
going on.
yeah, you look at the colors they use. I mean, there's a lot of like that Sleeping Beauty kind of like the castle, the scraggly,
Yeah.
like
But-
woods and
I think what we're talking about is I'm going to backpedal a little. I agree visually.
Yeah.
It definitely has like a Disney vibe, but like from a storytelling perspective and from like a character development and stuff, it feels so
flat.
It feels like so by the numbers.
But here's the weird thing: is that Disney movies are by the numbers. Like you can go to any one of those things,
Yes.
and there's always like the intro song where either Ariel or somebody is talking about whatever plight they're in and how they want to change,
Right.
and then it's like then they kind of make a movement and they make a mistake and they get caught up in this whole thing, and then
Sure.
they're in their adventure. Like you can definitely pace that by the numbers, but there's something about this film that there's no.
I guess like it's
There's
by
something-
the numbers
No.
in a wrong way.
Yeah, right. Like
There's-
it's like yeah.
Well, there's like things that are way overstated and weird things that are weirdly understated. Like the whole beginning, right? We're saying that we don't know who this guy is. There's really no backstory given to it. All of a sudden, this pig gets in a fucking tub, starts screaming for no reason, and the guy's like, "Oh, I didn't think I would have to show you this, but I guess I'll have to show you that the pig, if you stick its nose in the water, it gets drunk and shows you images."
oh, its eyes look like
Yeah.
it took some LSD, dude. It's
Like fucking
crazy.
Fucking image snot comes out of its fucking
Yeah.
snout.
And the image it basically shows is that this king is searching for the Black Cauldron, and it's just now discovered the pig because the pig has used its powers, which makes it like it's like
Which makes it like Sauron.
which makes it like
exactly.
Sauron.
Immediately, there's a definite Lord of the
Dude,
Rings vibe.
This
Hobbit
movie
vibe in
just feels like Fellowship of the Ring.
it sure does.
Like
Yeah.
there's the pig's vision being like same thing with Sauron. The that little creature is like a fucking total Smeagol. If I like had watched this and then that, I'd been like, oh, they clearly copied this.
When they
you know?
go into the Hobbit hole, that is the witch's like house.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a Hobbit hole.
It does. This whole I was seeing that the whole time. I was like, and I was going to do research and I forgot to, but I was going to research if Fellowship of the
really?
Ring
Don't worry, we have Chris here doing it. Well, guys, you're right.
was a source of inspiration or not. Like, you know, if Tolkien was a source of inspiration for this. But you said this is based on an own series of books.
Well, maybe the writer was inspired by
No,
Lord
I
of the
think,
Rings,
dude, I
the
think
original writer.
I think it got through so many people, and this got rewritten so many times, man.
mean,
it just
yeah,
turned
I
into what people
the
thought
fantasy
fantasy
element,
was.
though, is still there.
No, I think it just turned into what people thought was fantasy, and then a lot of people read that book, Lord of the Rings.
No.
I feel like
what are you
Disney
talking about?
fantasy. Like I feel like
This is definitely
This movie was
high fantasy
Yeah,
film.
but this movie was rewritten several times by different writers. What I'm saying is, I'm sure it somewhat resembled the book when it started, and then people who had like no idea about fantasy was like, "Oh fuck, I got to write a fantasy script here. What do I know? Lord of the Rings, okay, kind of make it like that." You know, it's
I mean,
Maybe.
sure.
You know,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what I'm envisioning. I don't know, because the similarities are kind of like, because as soon as the pig gets the vision, he's like, "Oh!" Now the guy's like, now he's see again. He's, "Oh, well, you gotta go."
you gotta stop doing the voice.
Yeah, because you're not good at this voice.
I'm very good at his
I don't know what
voice.
this is. It just sounds like you, but
Very
like
good at his
you know,
voice.
Like
you're
you're
really exasperated.
Yeah,
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, because he is. He's like, "I gotta." It's my Doc Brown. It's my Doc Brown. We gotta.
It is like it's more
Yeah.
a Doc Brown. Anyways,
So the guy is like, "You gotta go." Hey, no.
Jesus Christ.
He's like, "You gotta go," and he gets a bread and an apple, and says, "You gotta go to this fucking cottage."
What are you gonna animate a goddamn grocery bag? No,
No.
you simplify it. Bread, apple. Guys
No,
got
but he's
food
like,
ready
go
for
to
the
the-
journey.
Go to the edge of the forest and wait for me there in this cottage.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, "Cool."
Yeah.
And take the pig with you. He's like, "All right." And puts this pig on.
Oh
a
yeah,
leash.
he was supposed to wait for him at the cottage.
Yeah, but the
Oh,
whole time.
man,
But
that-
that's the
but he
thing.
loses
But see,
the pig.
that's when you watch the ending. That's when you go back and you go, "Oh, he knew the whole time."
He knew he would lose the pig because he knew he would see his reflection in the water and get really vain.
No, he
Yes,
knew. He sent him
yes.
on this journey. Yeah. And that's the thing, dude. He has that pig for he makes it 2 feet from that fucking house, dude.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That,
Two
that,
fucking feet.
That pig came off the leash and 3 seconds later was poof, gone.
Gone. Here's the other thing, too. That pig seems pretty smart and like self-conscious a little bit,
You
right?
know it's
I-
magic. You know it's a magic pig.
It
Already.
doesn't seem like it understands
Yes.
but like that happens in Disney films all the
because
time.
the motherfucker
Yeah.
just keeps disappearing, though.
Yeah. Wilbur, he was conscious.
Why are you so
Yeah, why are you so
Why are you so passionate
about
about this?
Guys, I'm trying to have a good episode. So
Every
you should
every
you.
Disney film has
Oh my
some
god!
animal creature that like a poo, for Christ's sakes. He's just a monkey. Like he's not just
Yeah, but-
he's not a magical
Oh, I thought,
monkey.
Yeah,
I,
but
I
a
thought you
poo's-
said a poo, like referring to Pooh
No,
Bear, and I was
yeah.
like, you son of a bitch.
No. Look
How
at
dare
poo.
you call him a monkey?
Yeah, that monkey. A poo.
No, but Apu's not running
No, a
off.
poo is a bear,
But
man.
Apu's not like going out
Is it
like.
a poo or a boo?
What?
Is it a poo?
Neither.
Is a poo from
Pooh, it's Pooh and a Pooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I what's the one from The Simpsons? Who's the character from The Simpsons? A poo?
That's a Pooh.
A poo.
It's a poo.
And
But-
a boo
but-
is the monkey,
so-
Is it a
right?
boo?
Oh, wait,
I think
so-
it might be
That was
a boo.
So he's,
Anyways,
so
a
he's
boo.
either
Okay, fine, a boo.
he's either a silly old bear, a monkey, or owns a convenience store.
One of those
We
three.
don't know.
We don't know. Anyways,
Jesus Christ,
but I'm just-
everyone.
my point
Let's
being,
just, yeah.
It's a boo.
God damn it.
Chris, fucking super study over here. It's a boo. No, my point being is that like it like this is a theme in most Disney films.
But what I'm saying is like those animals like, that are somewhat aware that can kind of talk too. They kind of, you know, because like, but they they do, but they don't just go like, you know what? I'll go fucking run off. like where does Hedwig goes like?
Dude, again,
Hedwig goes missing like a bunch of times in this movie.
Well, she
I mean,
learned-
it's literally the plot of Finding Nemo, but okay.
What happens like when your dog gets out for the first time? Like it fucking books its ass.
It's planning every day how it can get out
She gets-
again.
yeah, but Hedwig gets dude, my favorite though is when he finally like gets to the castle because they take Hedwig to the castle after they capture
The dragon that fucking throws that pig around like it's nothing.
Oh yeah, that was fucking creepy.
See,
Brutal.
that's where when I started watching this scene, I was like, "Oh, this is where it gets all fucked up."
Is this where you start? Is this where you first see his? Does he get like a bloody nose or something from
He gets
this?
a bloody lip.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, blood
I
in a
think there
Disney
is
movie?
some
Don't
blood, yeah.
don't know if I've seen that in a Disney movie. Blood.
Yeah, he gets blood on his lip. He does.
Yeah. So,
But anyways, this pig gets. My favorite thing that made me laugh out loud with this movie is this pig in fucking shackles. When they they're like, "We got the prisoner, sire!" The creeper, and they bring in this pig in shackles. I lost my shit because I'm like, really, guys? Like,
shackle that pig.
Yeah.
Well,
Important
clearly.
pig.
so how smart is this pig? Because they
It's
need to
psychic.
shackle it.
This-
it's psychic.
Well, the kid had the pig for 2 minutes and he lost it. They're not going to take risks. They're not
Yeah.
going to take the same risks. They're going to
That's a
shackle
crafty
that.
pig.
Yeah, very stealthy pig.
Yeah, it's, one would say stealthy
One might say a stealthy
A
pig.
master of espionage.
in the ninjutsu arts.
Yeah.
So, anyways, when we get to this castle and the king is the evil king is like finally like show me where the Black Cauldron is, you realize once he's shown that and throws fucking what's his name, Taran.
Well, yeah, he's gonna kill the pig. He's gonna chop its freaking head off.
Number one, he was never gonna fucking do
yeah,
that.
dude, that axe
Taran-
looked pretty menacing.
I don't know,
Yeah,
dude.
no,
But-
Taran fell for that shit because if he would
That
have
was a
killed
play.
him,
Yeah,
it was
definitely a play,
It was a
but
play.
But
He calls
also-
pretty
bluff.
strong play.
It worked
He
out.
plays buff. You play. How does it work out? You go to the dungeon,
No,
Chris?
they kicked didn't they kick a bowl in the guy's face or something?
Yeah, water is his weakness. Is the
Yeah.
Horned
water.
King's.
He's
weakness.
like Bruce Willis from
Yeah.
Unbreakable,
He does go to
Yeah.
the dungeon though.
His
He's
one
like
weakness.
the aliens
One
from
weakness,
Signs.
Yeah.
which is water.
Yeah, he's like the aliens from Signs. Water also.
Yeah.
That's a thing with Shannon.
I was just
huh?
I just realized I was like, man, he really thinks he's really scared of water.
He really fucking hates water.
Yeah.
Because isn't water a thing in Lady in the Water?
What?
It's called Lady in the Water.
Right?
I hope it is.
There's no water in that film,
Lady
actually.
in the Water.
Wow.
It's actually takes place in a
Dry
desert.
land.
What's this guy's thing
It's like
with water?
the movie takes place in the Sahara.
Yeah.
Dude, people who are listening to this just got their mind blown. like, fuck, dude, everybody hates water.
Guys, what the fuck are we talking about?
We're talking about
The
M. Night
dungeon.
Shyamalan.
We're talking about the dungeon and when the other where the other characters basically come into this
Which
film.
is the princess who didn't really seem much like a princess in the movie.
Because she's not a princess. She at some point in the movie they say that he says to her that she's like a steward or some shit like that. I don't.
No. I think you're talking about the scene where he says,
He's insulting her.
yeah, he's insulting her, and I don't care if you're a princess or not, or something like that, and she
But
runs off.
there's a point where he gives her like an occupation where it was like, oh,
Yeah,
is that
he was
really what she
he
is?
was legitimately he was insulting her.
Because
It
think
was
about
after
this.
they got out. Right? It was after they got out of the
Yeah,
castle and
I
he was
remember.
being all fucking boasty
well, they
and
were
shit.
arguing
she
about
says-
who did more or
yeah,
whatever.
she said the sword. I would say the sword did it, and then
And that hurt his hurt his ego.
Because there's like I don't know, there's something about her that like, and also I just don't believe like, okay, if you're really a princess, like your land's coming after you. You
No,
know.
yeah, they don't do nothing to signal that she's a princess. They don't.
I think
show
she
her
just says-
royal parents. They don't talk about where she's from or
Well, I
her
thought the
kingdom.
understanding was that the Horn King came in and basically took her hostage because that was her castle. Wasn't that
I
the
didn't get that.
understanding?
I didn't get that.
I didn't get that. It got
that.
The
real
reason
quiet
she-
when you said that.
The reason she was what was the reason she was in the dungeon?
Dude, here's the reason why. Because the
I
Horn
thought
King
she was the
Nope,
princess of the castle.
Nope, Horn King was going is because she had the glowing orb thing. The Horn King was going from mythical thing, looking
Yeah.
for the thing that would point
Oh,
him to
that's
the
right.
Black
That's
Cauldron.
right. You're right.
Because they don't ever talk about it either with Frankenfurter. What's his name?
But he's got the mythical. So
Who,
yeah,
Fluter?
Fluter.
Yeah.
Flam?
Flim Flam. He's got the. They never talk about it or what it does.
Yeah.
It just proves when he's lying.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he was doing that shit. He was trying to collect every piece of mythical.
Okay, and
that
so
was
she
in
had the glowing
land.
thing. The glowing orb was her
Yes.
thing.
She had that was her thing.
That never showed up again.
It,
That's
it,
a weird thing. Yeah, that's I don't understand
it
because
disappears
that's why I
when
thought
the
she was.
I think it disappears after the cauldron appears, because it's there when they go meet the witches.
It's just like, again, it's another weird
Well, this
thing
is-
that like doesn't get explained. Like I
this-
get it, you're collecting
no.
magical artifacts, but like
well, all
who
in
is
an
this
effort
woman?
to
How
find.
did you get it?
I mean,
Yeah.
I get why the guy with the harp, because then he
Yeah.
could ask him where's the cauldron,
Right,
And he
maybe it
could
was
see
just
if
like-
if he's lying or not.
no,
Am I
but
hot? Am I cold? I'm cold. I'm cold.
Boing.
no, I think he was just because she says that because she brings
I
the
don't feel. Cold.
she brings up that he thought that the orb knew where the cauldron was, so that's where I connected the dots of because they don't really bring up why he captured Flim Flam, whatever his name is. We keep on saying the wrong name.
Flim flam,
Fluter Flam.
fiddle faddle.
Fiddle faddle.
I don't know.
But
fur.
He's just came along. I feel like when they take
They
him,
needed another
it's
comedic.
comic relief. Yeah,
they
it's
need
just,
another one because we lose Grundy at this point.
But I'm sorry.
name is
Thankfully, we have lost Grundy.
yeah, we didn't really
Dude,
talk about
Grundy
Grundy.
sucks.
Grundy is what
it's Gurgi, by the way,
Gurgi,
not
thank
Grundy.
you.
Gurgi.
Although we can call him Grundy.
Pretty sure it was not Grundy, but that's the name that pops
Yeah.
into my head.
he's a precursor to he's a precursor to Stitch from
Yeah,
Lilo and
kinda.
Stitch.
Has a
Precursor
very similar
Smeagol.
voice.
I could see that.
And Smeagol. Yeah,
No,
I thought
but
it got
I
a
think
real
he's more
Smeagol
Smeagol
vibe.
than Stitch.
No, he's got a lot of Stitch
Well,
vibes too.
yeah, the
his
thing is that you
movements.
can't understand really anything that he's saying. Smeagol, you can kind of understand what he's talking.
Smeagol, you can understand. It's more simplistic, like
Yeah.
yes, and he was doing a lot of that. Oh, master, I don't,
Yeah.
But
and
what
that, he was doing the same
what
shit
a
in
weird,
this.
stupid character just to pop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Crunchy
Pop-
munchies.
Pop out of nowhere and steal an apple. Like, who cares?
Steals an apple and immediately calls Taran his best friend,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's his best friend forever.
But then
Yeah.
ditches him when he goes into the castle.
Well, he's a total coward.
Yeah.
It's actually the only. Well, I shouldn't say the only, but the one thing I did like about the character is that it actually does have quite a good character arc.
He does.
Like he just has to
fucking
get over
does.
his penchant for running away.
Yeah, he's the
he can be a
cowardly
true
lion in
friend.
the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
like,
can
there's a
see
part
it.
of that I actually like about
he's
this character.
the only one that has like a character like arc and development. I feel
No,
like
the boy does too.
the boy.
Taran does.
I feel like his. This is what I felt like when I was watching it. I felt like his character arc was stolen away from him by, what do we call him? Mugly, Muggery.
What?
What's this creature's name?
Oh God, Grundle.
Gregory.
Grundy.
What the fuck did you say?
It's not Gurgles.
Gurgi.
Gurgi.
Gurgles?
Not Grundle.
Gurgles.
Is it Gurgles?
I feel like Gurgles sold the
Jesus.
kid's thunder. I feel like the kid should have been the one that sacrificed himself because he would have had a better arc.
I agree actually
Okay.
with
All
that.
right. Yeah, I can see
agree.
that.
I agree.
He does get shoehorned into this film, like in
Like
a
he feels,
very
it feels
weird
like
way.
he's along for the ride. Like he's never in charge of the situation.
No, the
He's
only
just-
time he's ever in charge is like when they get thrown into a dungeon or something like that, and they need somebody to open the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not like this character.
That's like his. That's actually his only act. Like if we're talking about like his if someone's writing a book, these are his great acts. It was
Yeah.
opening the door for the boat.
I don't like him as a character either. And I don't, you know who else I don't like that I don't feel like was necessary? The fucking Creeper. Like
he was the opposite of Grungy.
He was like- he was like, yeah,
He
Grungy.
was the little henchman.
he was like on the other side. It's like no one respected him, but he was like somehow the number 2.
Yeah, I don't understand really his point. I thought
No, he was a slave. I
He
think.
Yeah,
remind
little
me.
henchman.
He reminded me of that. I can't remember its name. The creature that Jabba's like little right hand.
He's the goddamn
Little
parrot from
creature.
Aladdin.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know
Yeah.
his fucking name. I didn't
can't
know it
remember.
even
He
had
has
a
a
name.
name.
It's
He
just
definitely
one that
has a name.
like laughs.
Like it's like his like
it's a laughing
second in
rat.
command.
It's a fucking great episode.
All right.
I liked him so much better than Gurgi. I thought Creeper was actually. I was like, oh, okay, that's like kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
he's kind of a cool character, and
I did not think he was a cool character.
No, he's cool.
compared to Gurgi, he
He's
was
cool.
a shining
I think-
star.
I think
Okay.
he's cool looking. Yeah, what was I don't understand what Gurgi's character
I mean, next to-
design was.
Next to Gurgi, like
It was
the
kinda
witch's
like,
house
he
was
reminded
a
me
cool
of
character.
like a Shih Tzu.
Like a
Yeah, he did with that
was
mustache.
a dog for a while. I don't know.
I thought it was a
Schnauzer?
dog.
Yeah, but it's not a dog. I don't know that.
I thought it was like a dog
I
bear.
feel like that was like a fashion style.
It was
in
like a
the
baby-
70s or something.
It was like a baby. It was like
dress up like a
shaggy
Shih Tzu?
blonde hair and a shaggy blonde mustache bouncing around.
Babe, do I look like a Shih Tzu?
Everyone in the
I don't
70s,
know.
everybody in the 70s was really shit suing up their
Yeah.
fucking
Maybe early 80s. Yeah.
their fucking closet.
The Shih Tzu style
really
of the
zooing it up.
1970s. Came right after bell bottoms. Everyone dressed like a Shih Tzu.
Shih Tzu.
So after they're in this, where we were was after they're in this dungeon, Princess just shows up out of nowhere. She's like, "Hey, I'm getting out of here."
Again, another situation where this kid doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Just everything happens
Gets
to him.
saved.
He gets
Yeah.
saved this whole film.
Yeah, pretty much.
Keep going. Yeah, she just pops up. She's like,
Out of nowhere,
Hey,
out of the floor.
"Hey, I'm leaving. You want to come with, or what's
Yeah.
up?" And that's it.
And then they pop in Flittle Flams thing.
They come
Yeah.
across Flittle Flammer.
And they're like, "Hey, you want to go?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to go." But then the guards show up, and he's like, "You go." And then he runs with them.
Yeah, he's like,
Right.
we all go.
Yeah, we all go. And they all go. They get out of there. Then what happens?
They go to try to rescue him.
That's right. They go to try to rescue who?
Flimmer Flammer.
No, they're already out of the castle.
They're out of the castle.
God damn it! I can't keep
That's
track.
where I'm going with my
Because
point.
we're going with every little plot hole.
That's
Can
what-
we
no.
move this along?
That's what
Well, no, we're at a point now where they're out of the. So our characters they've escaped the clutches of the horned,
king.
horned
Yeah.
king,
Okay.
Yes.
and now they're regrouping. And how did they go from?
They're
here?
arguing. First, they're fighting, which, by the way, like when they get in that argument, it seems weird because they're like, well, I did this. Well, I did that, the princess and
Right.
Taran. But then it immediately goes to them like, I'm sorry I said that. Like there was supposed to be like a whole period in that section where it was like they weren't talking. Like there was this whole makeup moment.
Chris, is this a historical fact or is
It's
this
true.
Just...
This is true. This is some of the shit that was cut out.
Thank you.
from
Thank
my-
you.
from
I
my
just want to make sure
mind.
this wasn't you
Not just
being
what I
like, you know
wished
what would be
was
cool?
happening.
Yeah. It's a strong opinion about what would be cool in Black Cauldron if they weren't talking for 30 minutes.
Well, somehow they get like tipped off that they need to go
Yeah,
to
how
these
did that
fucking
happen?
witches, right? They need to go like, or no, they
Did one
get
of
the
them use
sword.
power?
They get the
They
sword.
get the sword. They get the sword. It's a
magic
magical
sword.
sword. It basically shatters anything on
Yeah.
No, but I'm trying to
command
remember.
almost.
They're at the side of the lake, chilling, being mad at each other. Then there's like, isn't there like a vision that tells them where to go?
Shit, man. I don't even know.
So here's my point where I was going with all
Oh,
of
wait,
this.
no, I know. I remember how
I
this
want to
happened.
solve this.
Sorry, I already know
mystery.
the answer.
Okay.
No, they get swooped into the tornado thing, and they go into the fairy village, and the fairy takes them to the witches. Remember?
Oh yes, that's right.
So-
that part, the
They get
fairies.
swooped in.
Yeah, like they go into a water,
Oh, the pig gets swooped in, and they
Whirlpool.
swooped
Yes.
in with them.
and they all go
Right,
stuck in
okay,
there. And
okay,
this is
okay.
where we lose the pig again.
Yeah.
So here's my point with all of
Okay,
this.
all right.
I watched this movie, I don't know, 7 times, I feel like.
You
Like
didn't
literally.
really.
Dude, I don't know how many times I was like, did I miss something? I have to rewind this. Or I would be like, all right, I'm gonna stop the movie and I'll pick it up tomorrow. Or dude, I had seriously watched this movie like start to finish 4 times, and I still feel like I missed so fucking much because I would lose my attention so much, and then I would turn away for 2 seconds, and then I'd turn back. I'm like, wait, why is it what?
Yeah.
Who's that? Where are they? Why are they there?
I didn't have that much of a problem. Like I watched this movie in just one go, start to finish.
Yeah,
like
me too.
I didn't pause it or feel like I needed to pause it. I mean, but maybe it's just because it's an animated movie, so I give a little more like creative credit. I'm like, whatever. Like if there's shit that it's not like I don't know why I think that's a different thing, but maybe that's why. But I didn't think it was hard to follow. I felt like it was poorly executed. Like there's chunks of it that are easy to follow, but in my mind, they don't stitch together correctly. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. It feels like a lot of things get like everything's like serendipitous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's no real reason why any of this shit's happening. Like, oh, there just happens to be a princess with a magical globe that happens to save this kid.
Yeah.
And
They
well,
just
again,
happen upon
the
fairies.
kid, like Gertie or whatever the hell its name is. He just finds it. He just stumbles upon him.
He literally
Like,
jumps out of a
everything's
tree
stumble.
onto him.
And it's not like in some fantasy stuff, it's always something weird, like they happen upon a robber, and he's in like let's say Willow, right?
Yeah,
like they
yeah.
meet Mad Mardigan because they helped him, and then Mad Mardigan ends up getting stuck in the thing. But in this one, it's more like the kid gets in danger, and something just happens to be he's the
Well,
luckiest kid on the planet, is
yeah.
what it is.
That's true, but I mean, the whole thing is the Horn King is coming after them because they want the pig so that they can get the vision.
Right, but
so
at
they
any
get the
point in
Black
time,
Cauldron.
the princess or the bard could just leave. and they don't. They're not like really like locked into this
adventure. Well, I guess it's just a race to save the world they live in, right? Isn't that what they're doing? Trying to avoid
that's
the
ultimately
dead rising
what it comes down to
and taking over the
I
human
guess everybody,
race.
He just happened to come across like 3 decent people that were willing to sacrifice their lives for
go on this adventure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and then my other question too, just kind of going over the whole thing too, is at the end with that whole movie. So what I was like, is the whole point of this? I'm like, are the witches like the most? They're obviously more powerful than the Horn
so
King.
here's the thing. There's a whole intro to this movie. Does anybody remember? Do they tell how this evil king or whatever got caught in the cauldron? Because then I thought at the end I was like, oh, okay, the witches were the one that put him in it.
That might be true. I don't remember them saying.
I forgot how they said it happened, but they do explain it in the beginning.
They do.
I just don't
explain it.
remember.
I think they said he tripped and fell in.
He just accidentally.
Yeah.
It was like a very lackluster moment from an evil king.
He was redecorating and he was using a chair as a ladder, and we
really
all know how bad
embarrassing.
that is.
Yeah. You know how that ends. No, but yeah, you're
Trapped
right.
in the
Yeah,
cauldron.
they meet
2,000
these
years.
3 witches, and they have possession of the cauldron, but also like
They're dealers.
they seem to have godlike powers.
They have
Well, they're
godlike-
witches.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
no.
but-
Once they turn into fucking cloud form at the end,
No, man, I just think they're witches.
no, dude, they have powers to where they like
Witches can't do cloud form.
they bring fucking people back from the dead.
Yeah.
Oh, that is true.
They literally bring people
That
back
is
from
true.
the fucking
They have
dead.
godlike. I mean, by the end of it, like let's just say,
Yes.
like at the beginning, you're thinking like, yeah, right, okay, maybe they're just witches,
Dude.
and they're really into bargaining.
Is anybody else like beginning of
are.
it like fucking Odyssey? That's what I thought. I'm like,
What?
oh, witches, Odyssey, the Odyssey,
Really? I
No,
didn't make
you're-
or
the
I-
connection.
Hercules.
I thought Macbeth.
because or Macbeth,
I just thought another Disney movie
like
because
3
you
witches
have
around
like
a
the
cauldron
3
or something.
fairies
Or
in
Clash of the fucking
Sleeping
Titans.
Beauty.
Wait, isn't there 3 witches in?
it's in the Odyssey, isn't it? The 3 witches
There's
with the
3
one
witches
eye.
witches in a
Another
lot of
Disney
Disney
movie.
Yeah, there
But
is.
is there-
You're talking
Hocus
about like the
Pocus.
Oracle. Yeah.
The 3
I'm
inches
telling you,
with
it's
one eye.
Macbeth, guys. You guys are fucking wrong.
Okay,
I think it's
Everybody
Greek
remembers the 3
mythology.
witches.
I think it's Greek mythology.
We've seen
Okay,
these
cool.
kinds
Yeah.
of witches before in other Disney things.
Yeah.
But these ones are like these ones are the strongest of them all, Chris.
Yeah, they are. They have the cauldron, so clearly they're top of their game. Like, and they trade for the sword, which has magical powers, because they think they're tricking them by giving them a cauldron that nobody can use or open or
and
activate.
Which, by the way, I gotta say, this is where the movie really lost me. Okay. Because the 3 witches then explain what this big, like, well, they can't do anything with it, so that's why they bargain it. They think it's a totally
Trick, yeah.
like a win-win situation for them. But when they tell him why it's useless to him, all it is well, to stop the king and destroy the cauldron, you would need to jump yourself into the cauldron.
yeah,
Yeah.
commit
Right?
suicide,
Which-
basically.
Like, really? Like, no one would do that? Like, to me, I feel like there are plenty of people on this earth that are willing to sacrifice their life for their family and loved ones and to end world pain.
Yeah, but
like,
not in this world.
yeah, it's like they make it sound like this is a literal brick wall, like it's impenetrable.
Yeah.
Because no one has ever thought, yeah, I'd sacrifice myself so everyone else in the world can be happy. Like, I feel like that's such a long con to think that nobody in that group would do it.
I agree, dude.
Possibly.
I totally agree.
But someone does agree to do it.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing, and the weirdly unlikely person.
Well, I like the way they set it up to really tug on your heartstrings
They
here
certainly
with
do.
Gurgi, because
Kill the fluffy
first
thing.
of all, I thought this was like the most annoying character in the film. But in this moment, like when he starts, basically saying Taran has lots of friends, Gurgi has no friends, and you
Yeah.
know, and then throws
Stop
himself
stealing
off.
goddamn apples.
And then throws
Plus you're out
himself
of
off, basically sacrificing / committing suicide,
Right,
for the cause.
sake of the thing.
Yeah, and the fact that he had to point out his life was so sad, anyways,
That's
that
right.
his life didn't matter as much as Taran. So
And so, like,
And
this
that's how
would have
you-
ended as a great film,
See, Kyle, that's how you win at the end.
right? Like, it would be sad and somber, but you have a character that's grown. And yet, the weird thing about it is, like, 15 minutes later, it's like the Horn King is just like, well, now we need another body to throw in there.
Yeah.
And I don't understand where the fuck this goes.
Creeper
like, was this
suggests
supposed to?
that. right? Doesn't
Yeah,
Creeper?
Creeper suggests maybe put another body in.
I thought he did.
Because
Right.
the army starts collapsing and Creeper trying to save his ass. He's just like, why don't you just try throwing another body in there? That'll probably do it.
The Horn King says, "Okay, I'll pick your body."
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing: where's the logic behind it?
Staring at me.
One, like, why didn't what the witches say come out to be true? Like, was it like
What do you mean didn't come out to be true? Which part?
They say straight up, if you want to destroy the cauldron, somebody has to sacrifice their life.
Right.
Yes.
Gurgi does it.
Yes.
And what was he, like, too short? Like, I meant somebody that was like a real life human.
What do you mean?
Like, somebody
It
at
does
least
it.
this-
It does it, yeah.
It does it.
It does it.
It stops the.
It stops the army. It starts reversing everything, and it creates a vacuum and pulls all the evil that it spewed out already back into it.
So, is the understanding that the Horn King came from the Black Cauldron?
No. What?
No,
No,
I think
he
you're
got
getting a
close
little
to it.
ahead of yourself because what we didn't talk about when they actually activate the army. You know, when the army
Wait,
actually
you're Cauldron born. And
Right.
he throws the
yeah,
skeleton.
Cauldron born.
Maybe it's like Pet Cemetery. Like
It just
you have to
seemed-
bury
Oh,
your
Pet
own.
What
Yeah,
I'm
bury
saying to
your
me
own.
is it just seemed like to me like
Got bury your own.
Gurgi's body, like,
Yeah.
was like, it was enough to rile the
No,
cauldron.
it totally stopped the evil.
It
It
stopped the
completely
evil.
it created the chain reaction that's stopping
But it
the
seemed
evil.
like when, so you're saying, okay, so what you're saying is when the Horn King gets sucked in,
Yeah,
Yeah.
his body is not what creates it to explode.
no.
He gets sucked in before the thing explodes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he gets sucked in. He's like
Okay.
one of the last things to get sucked into it, and then the thing's just like poof,
See,
done.
I took it as like Gurgi's body like wasn't quite enough, but if we had
That's
a Horn King,
what a weird
that would really do
what
the
a,
damage.
what a weird angle to roll with for the last couple of days leading up
Yeah.
to our conversation.
strange.
it was
The
just
whole
too
time.
small.
That's why it didn't make any sense to me.
like if a grown adult went in, it would have been like boop, done.
yeah.
Oh, fine. Thank you.
It's got to
Yeah.
pull that evil back in. So
It's
you
like
have to have
I
that.
needed
You have to have that dramatic moment
more
where
than
where it
50
rips-
pounds
where
of
the
body.
where the hero might get sucked into it, and then we finally get rid of our protagonist, and he gets sucked in, ripped to shreds. That
Your
was the
skin ripped off.
that was the
Skin.
point
Yeah.
in this that I was watching, and I was like, really, this went by Disney. We're like, yeah, that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely the most violent part of the film.
Like, do you think the guy who was animating was just like, and flesh gets shredded here? This seems strange. Are we doing this? Okay, we're doing this. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt so. That's the one part that felt so out of place.
Dude, the other thing too is like I felt like this movie. I felt a lot like I was like, okay, this is where it's gonna end, and this movie just didn't end.
oh no, it
yeah,
doesn't
again,
end
going
yet.
back to Return to Lord of the Rings, man. Like,
yeah, let's do 5 endings to
Yeah.
get to the point. We gotta tie up
Yeah.
every possible thing, right? Because they leave and it's game over. We won, and then the 3 witches come back down.
Yeah.
And I guess they decide they don't want the fucking sword anymore.
I want the cauldron, but they're down for a deal, so they're willing to wheel and deal to get what they want. I took it as they're very hyper focused on the what's in front of them now, and they don't care what they trade
Okay,
for.
I was
it.
I was under the impression that they were like, all right, so we've played with the sword, and it's totally not as cool as that cauldron.
Yeah.
Like that's what I got. I got a lot of
Actually,
weird shit
to be
from
honest,
this film,
they
apparently.
offer that up to him. They're like, "What would you trade? How about your sword back
And he's
to
like,
make
"But
you a
I'm
big
not-
warrior?"
I'm not a warrior.
But he doesn't take it.
I'm a pig handler.
No, he doesn't take it. He goes the hero route, and he said, "I just want Grungy back,
Grundle.
Grendel's
Grendel's back.
Grendel's
Grundy.
back,
Oh, Grendel's.
Gurgi.
Yeah, so Gurgi, he asked for
He wants to
Gurgi back.
Gurgi
old
him.
girdles."
And they and at first they're like, play this game where they're like, nobody can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they're like, never mind. we
Yeah,
totally
then
get it.
Fiddle Faddle's like, "Fucking call your ass out. Guess you're not a good witch after
Yeah,
all."
no, Fiddlefaddle pulls the
Such
Aladdin.
a weird
Yeah.
move.
No, he pulls the Aladdin. He does what he does to Genie. He's like, oh, well, I guess you're not this almighty powerful Genie. How are you going to get us out of this cave? Poof, out of the cave.
Yep.
Yeah, but
And didn't waste a wish.
Poof. Girdles is back.
Yeah, didn't waste a wish on the present like Chris would.
Yeah. No, wait, what was your problem with that? That he called him out?
it just seemed weird. Like the witches want the cauldron. Like what was the if there's was
feel like
it
you just
was
had
it
a moment.
truly very taxing to them? Would it really suck out a lot of their power or something? Like to me, I'm trying to figure out why would the witches be like,
Dude, you think like
that's too hard? Like at this point,
No,
yeah,
I-
totally. I'll
no,
give you your friend
no, I
back for the
think-
fucking
do you,
cauldron.
do you think they
I
watched
think
the
it's-
Skeleton King use it? And they're like, oh fuck, that's how it works.
I have no idea what you're talking
I
we
about.
know
gotta
it-
throw a
Stop,
skeleton
everybody
in
just
it.
stop talking until he's done. Okay, we good?
Continue. Your point, Kyle.
I don't even
So-
remember anymore.
Well, Fluter challenges the witch's powers, which causes them to bring back Gurgi.
yeah, I don't think look, if you got the power to bring back the dead, I don't think you just throw it around, right? That's like a back pocket offer.
They're willing
They
to
were-
give
this was a
away
sa- this
a
was a-
super powerful
This
sword.
was a sales negotiation. They offered the sword up.
You don't just give away a super powerful sword.
They
what I'm-
probably figured they would find a way to get the sword back because they're witches. They tend to do shit like that. So they probably figured. I think they don't even have a discussion where like, we'll give them the sword and we'll just get it back. We'll end up with both. They have that discussion.
I thought they had the conversation about the
because they literally have
cauldron.
powers of gods.
I thought the cauldron was like they'll realize they can't do anything with it. And we'll
Yeah.
get the sword. And
I
the
mean,
cauldron.
honestly, dude, it's classic fucking like villainy shit, right? You challenge them, you're like, yeah, you can't do this, and they fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again,
out of sheer
it's-
arrogance.
Yes.
What I mean is,
Yeah.
and I guess I think this is just, I guess the overall theme that I'm trying to get to with this movie is that I feel like every like little explanation got shoehorned in with like bad writing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, like just fucking like, we should have a moment where like they don't know if Grungy's gonna come back to life. How are we gonna do it? I don't know, like the witches don't
well,
want to
that
do it. I don't
feels
give a
that
shit.
feels like cookie cutter because you always
Yeah.
have like the level one at the end is like, did he make it? Oh, he did. Happy ending. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah, it's
that's
I don't
standard
understand why
Disney
the
shit,
the
man.
second one had to happen where the witches are just like, oh, it's too hard for us.
Dude, I think you're reading really deep into
I
that
want
scene.
my films to make sense, Kyle.
I feel like
Yeah.
you're reading so deep into that scene.
So deep.
You need to like.
All
you
right,
need
I'll
to
let
get.
it go.
You
Jesus,
need.
man.
You need.
super
You know what?
deep.
You need to get that pile of dirt you dug and
So
put that
deep.
back in that hole.
All right, fine. We'll let it go.
Fill
We'll let
that
it go.
hole up.
So deep, put that ass to sleep.
I do want to talk about the adult nature of this film. It does deal with some like dark themes.
Well, it deals with dark themes. It also deals with like sexual, like sexualizing.
What?
Yeah, for sure, dude. Like the tits on display in
he
this
is
movie.
absolutely right.
like,
There's that scene with that one horny witch.
I like
Oh,
a
yeah.
strong man.
Yeah,
Or
and
whatever.
he ends up stuck in her breastises
as a frog.
as a frog.
Breasts.
Yeah, I
Dude,
feel
that
like
happens in a lot of old Disney
No,
movies.
man, you're thinking of The Last Unicorn?
yeah,
Because that's
Not a
definitely
Disney
something that
movie.
happens in The Last Unicorn,
No,
but there's
I-
not a Disney film
No,
where things start getting
bullshit.
Which one?
There's, dude, in fucking, what's the other one you named? Sword in the Stone, dude. Like,
Is there a scene?
there's a fucking sexy squirrel scene.
Well, but it's not
no,
like
I'm talking
cleavage.
about getting
Yes, it is. It's like a booty squirrel. It's like a woman-shaped squirrel.
booty
I'm not talking.
Booty squirrel.
I'm not talking to some Pepe Le Pew bullshit.
Yeah, that's what
But
it is.
like that shit happens.
No, but the
in that movie.
sexualization of
They sexualize
creatures.
things.
I did think
They do
I
that
will
in a
say,
lot of
I do feel like
cartoons.
the pig was oddly sexual or something. Like when he was
No.
looking
what
at
a
the
sicko.
kid.
Let me do.
Like the way the pig was like smiling
I
and
don't
like
know.
looking
Yeah,
at the kid.
That's not good.
They-
That's
I
not
don't-
good,
They
I
Kyle.
quite
touched
agree with
they
that.
touched the edge of this though. They didn't
That's
shy
not good, Kyle. It's not good.
Shut up! There's like you're gonna fuck up
But-
a cut.
Also the decaying corpses and the blood that they used and like the violence that they had in this, and I feel like was even though it was cut down apparently, like still has a lot more of that than you see in pretty much anything else. Like I would even say like more than Watcher in the Woods. Like that's more of like a mystery thriller.
You know, it
It's
didn't
not-
take me aback because it doesn't feel like a Disney film. So it didn't make me think like,
What
wow,
hap-
this in a Disney film?
Agree 100%
This
with
definitely
you.
feels like DreamWorks.
No, I got the Disney vibe on
No,
it.
this felt like I was like, oh, this is like Fire and Ice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like.
This is a Frizzetti.
No, that's a
this is a
little different.
Frizzetti story. This
they
whole
can't-
movie looked like a Frizzetti painting.
But they can't go as
Frizzetti.
they can't go as far because fucking it's Disney. You know what I mean? It's like they got Fazoli.
It just didn't feel
they
Disney,
couldn't
man. So it's like
they
these
go as
things
far.
that were like it. That's why the whole time I was watching it, I was just like, it wasn't until the very end where I thought, wow, this is a Disney film. You know what I mean? Like, because it didn't feel like it. So then when you see shocking shit, it just felt like a Last Unicorn
Or like a
Yeah.
Secret of Nim situation. or
yes,
something
like
that.
these.
I mean, like
these-
to Don
it
Bluth,
felt
that's
like
what-
it felt like a movie animated by an independent studio with their own story, and they don't
Yeah.
have to abide by the Disney kind of.
Because
like,
they missed the
ideas.
Disney charm and comedy element. There's a very specific comedy and charm
I
element
just
to
think
Disney
a lot
movies.
what you like if you're talking about Disney and stuff like that, like those are all musicals, man.
Yeah, it's
and they
true.
always have some like amazing score to them.
That's true,
that
yeah.
really- and
No.
I feel like if this had some
Sword and Stone's not musical. I hate to keep
But
on
Sword
going.
in the Stone, can I be honest? Sword in the Stone's not like one of the ones that like you go to Disneyland and people are like, I want Sword in the Stone shit.
No, yeah, that's true.
Nobody fucking
no, it's,
cares.
it's all about the
I don't know.
Frozen.
Everybody seems to get the same picture of them trying to remove the sword from the stone.
There is
Well,
the
the
sword
thing-
from
the-
the stone, but yeah.
Oh, snap!
But
In
no
this
one's
case,
it's not
though,
selling mugs or anything.
in this case though, this was around that era when they were doing musical stuff at this time in the 80s, right?
They were doing music stuff back to the 70s, dude.
Yeah, I mean they've
all
that's
the
always
early
been
stuff.
part of their
Yeah.
like charm is like you're getting a beautiful story, but you're also getting like an amazing.
Well, wait a
score
minute.
or
Does
something.
Bambi have music? Have a? It's not singing.
yeah.
I think what you're talking about is singing.
This movie has a beautiful
like
score.
the singing stuff isn't until like the 90s, right?
No,
No,
I mean
no,
Snow
there's
White
Snow
had
White
tons of
sings.
songs.
Did it?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, okay. They've always had
I don't know about
orchestral
son.
music and shit.
Bippity-boppity-boo.
Yeah.
He's like-
bippity boppity boom, bitch.
He's like, I lost the pig,
Cinderella
and I
definitely.
can't find the pig. Someone help me find the pig. Where could be the pig?
Where could be the pig?
Oh man, I think we
Jesus.
need to regroup here.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good song, though. It's a good, it's a musical.
Not gonna lie, it was a pretty fucking solid song.
Yeah,
There's a two-headed dragon over there. Oh no!
I got a lot of vibes on some of the horror stuff that they did in this from like some of the other Disney films.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. Like, the visual of the Horned King is fucking awesome.
It
man.
is.
The
It's
Horn King
scary.
is fucking badass.
Yeah,
It's
he was
cool
pretty
as fuck.
cool.
It's cool as fuck.
His voice is good.
Yeah.
That character also definitely looks like
That's,
it was pulled out of fire and ice for sure.
That's John Hurt, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who did the voice there.
Hell yeah.
They had a great. I mean, the voice actors in these are like they all pretty solid.
I didn't like Taran. I didn't
Well,
like Gurgi.
okay, okay,
Gurgi
okay.
was.
I like Taran. You like
god-awful.
Taran? Gurgi's.
I didn't like Taran. But I think I didn't like him
Whiny,
just because I didn't
annoying.
like his character.
Gurgi's really like he's the fucking Jar Jar Binks of the movie. Let's be honest.
He is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They try to make him the hero, but you really fucking hate him.
Yeah.
I feel like you've dropped all these references about what Gurgi's like, except Smeagol, which is the most obvious.
Yeah, he's definitely like
reference.
Smeagol.
No, I like Smeagol though.
But here's the weird thing though that
Huh.
that weird version of Smeagol doesn't show up until the Peter Jackson one.
To the
I don't remember-
fucking Peter Jackson one, so Google it.
I do not remember the animated Fellowship of the Ring, so I can't even have this conversation with you.
Like that,
Dude, I've seen. I think I own it. I need to watch. I haven't seen it.
It's a
Watched it in
Ralph
a while.
Bakshi film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I own.
Let's take a break.
You know what? Let's take a break. When we come back, we will rate this motherfucking Mammer Jammer. How many boys are we rating? How many Gurgies are we? Gargles?
How many Grundles?
How many
Grundies
would you
are
say
we?
how many
Yeah.
Gurgies are we going to
Chris,
gurgle?
we're gonna rate this
Yeah.
Grundies.
Grundies?
Yeah.
Grundies. Grungles undies.
Grungy undies is what that
Grungy
is. It's a
undies.
Grundy.
That's a Grundy right there. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You wanna do
All right,
Grundies?
cool.
You wanna do
Grundies it is.
I'll go first on this one. I'm gonna come in at 2 Grundies. I come at 2 Grundies. Well, I enjoy the animation and some of the storytelling elements in it. It just doesn't connect well. That 12 minutes that's missing, I feel really hurts this movie. And there's just other things too that just is like you have to put a lot of the pieces together your own. Like they don't. Like, I don't know. Things aren't fed to you as good as they could be without being spoon fed to you. They just, sometimes I feel like they just fucking missed your mouth on purpose. Like, oh, you want this bite? Too bad! And just whip it around. So I don't know. There's, and like I said before, it's missing that Disney charm. Like I said, there's cool elements about this movie. Like the Horn King's really cool looking. The visuals of this is cool. I really enjoyed actually the score of this film. I thought that was really, really well done. It's just, yeah, something's missing. There's something not there.
Mm.
And I had to like watch it like 7 times because I just felt like I was missing something. I think it's just shoddy storytelling. So two Grundies for me. Chris.
Yeah.
How many
Go ahead.
How many grungies?
How many Grungies?
How many Grundies?
Grundies.
Well, first time watch and, being familiar with some of the dark Disney films, but also definitely familiar with like the popular Disney films like Robin Hood and Sword in the Stone and growing up on all that stuff. I actually had fun going into this one. It was one that, I had heard a little bit about, like, oh, it's it's darker themed. It's a little bit more like has to do with death and stuff like that. And so, going into it, I'll agree though, like right off the bat, the characters I did not connect with. I thought they were not as likable as most of the Disney characters that you see in a lot of the other films. So, I found the lead protagonist, Taran, to be pretty annoying. Grundy was annoying. But there were some elements that I also liked. I do think the animation style did feel a lot like Disney, especially in the scary moments, like when the cauldron's bubbling over and the smoke is, bringing the dead back to life. I don't know why. That just looked like the colors that they used. It definitely reminded me of other Disney films. There was enough that I liked about this film that I can't be too hard on it. I know it is disjointed, but I think after reading about it and why that is, I give it a little bit more leeway because I'm really intrigued to know what was cut out. Like it could have actually made this a better film, but instead we did get it a little bit just disjointed story because of the editing. A lot of hands in the pot. It took a long time to make this movie, and it just flopped. And I think maybe it is a cult film for that reason, like that it kind of just was doomed from the get-go, it seemed like. But it still exists out there, and it is part of the Disney catalog, even if they try to shun it away. I'm going to give it 3. I'd say definitely check it out. It's kind of a fun watch, but I agree with a little bit of Cody on the fact that you get a little lost and it takes your attention out of the film because of the disjointedness and the lack of liking the characters enough.
Kyle?
Man, dare I say...
Dare it. I dare.
Dare I say disappointed.
Wow. And who, Chris?
No, I've been really looking forward to watching this movie because of like I'm really intrigued and entranced by the dark Disney history, and those films definitely have a tone and they have a style, and a lot of them after you watch them you're like, yeah, these kind of all fit in this funny little group. This movie just feels so out of place. I don't feel like it ever went dark enough and it didn't go Disney enough. It was, I'm going to echo a lot of what we've said in this podcast, what Cody said in his review. It's disjointed. The characters aren't exactly like likable. The story doesn't feel like it has like a really linear path that this main character goes on. And the thing I dislike the most is their main character doesn't even get himself a redeeming moment. He doesn't even get to be the hero that he thinks he is, or that he's put into these heroic situations, and the guy literally opens a gate for a boat in this movie. Like that's his act of heroism.
Heroism?
Heroism.
Yeah.
Heroism. We'll go with that. So yeah, I'm coming in at a 2 on this one. Like, man, I wanted more, but at the end of the day, it just feels like a subpar, like, independent, like animation studio film. So yeah, 2 for me.
Michael Salucio. Where do you stand? How many Grundys?
I gotta give this 2.5 Grundys. Like,
I was gonna go 2.5, but then so Chris said something that knocked it down half a point. I was
really?
like, fuck that.
Yeah, what did Chris say? Wait, what did Chris say that knocked it down half?
I don't remember.
I was gonna say maybe Mike didn't hear it.
I didn't. I knew going into this I was gonna do a 2.5. So like this was one of those films as a kid that I remember I had on VHS, and going into it, I was ready to expect that like when I watched the Neverending Story, like that immediate, like I totally remember the scene, I totally remember that part, I totally like. And this film, I was like, yeah, I don't really remember much of this film. And then I think about it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think I liked this film when I was a kid. I think this was one of those films where I was like, yeah, I don't want to watch the fucking Black Cauldron. So like, it's just and for all the reasons that you guys said to me, and like it's disjointed, everything seems shoot in, like all this. The story doesn't make a lot of sense, and there's no music, and the character development isn't it really suffers. That's the thing. You know what? Actually, I'm going to say that. I think that's the thing that misses the most from other Disney films is that almost all of their characters are really well developed. Like they have a good understanding of where they came from, what they're doing, their wants and needs, and by the end of it, they find some sort of thing. It's like just follows that typical musical pattern. And this film doesn't. It's like, okay, so some kid doesn't really want to be a pig farmer, but at the end I guess he's like, yeah, I guess I'm a pig farmer. Like it's just like I don't understand. That's really all that happens. Like so I decided to be a warrior for a little bit and realized, not for me. Kind of like, all right, so you didn't really have a want or need. Like it never got met. Anyways, I could go on and on and on, but 2.5 is all that Black Cauldron will be getting from me today.
2.5 from Mike. All right, guys, that is our show for this week. Do us a favor, head over to any social media platform like Facebook. Follow us there. Instagram, Cult Film, at Cult Film and Review. Twitter, at Cult Film _review. Make sure you check out cultfilmandreview.com. Put in your request for reviews and pick up a t-shirt. And then May 10th, Phoenix Film Bar, Buffalo 66 with the crew. The Cult Film crew, that is. Not the Motley crew. They're busy. Chris, they can get tickets where?
Thefilmbarphx.com.
That is correct.
Thank you, Cody.
I don't know
That is correct.
I'm losing control of the ship here at the end of the night. Sorry. I'm tired.
You know what, Cody? Fade out.
I'm going to fade out real quick.
It's time to fade out.
You can follow Kyle.
You can follow me on Instagram at cultfilm_Kyle.
You can follow Chris at
Cultfilm_Chris on Instagram.
You can follow Mike
at Mike Salustio on Twitter.
And you can follow me at VHS Collect on Snapchat and Instagram. That's our show for this week. Remember, if you're going to join a cult, just make sure they watch good movies. We'll see you next time.